Hello, you are welcome. I'm going to take you through grammar and we are going to look at quantifiers. Let's say it together, quantifiers. So by the end of the lesson, the learner is expected to use these quantifiers correctly in sentences. At the end of the lesson, the learner is supposed to use these quantifiers correctly in sentences. Both, both, neither, neither, either, either, none, none. We'll take the quantifiers again. Both, both, neither, neither, either, either, none. All right. So before we take the lesson, a quick revision on what we did last week. What is a quantifier? When we say quantifiers, what are they? Okay. So if our answer is a quantifier is a word that is used to give the total amount or quantity of something. It's used to describe or define the total amount or quantity of something or quantity of a noun. Okay. All right. So for our first word, we are going to consider both. Both. So to use both, you are only considering two things and it takes a plural verb. To use both, you are considering only two things and it takes a plural verb. So what you are keeping in mind is two things, strictly two things. And when you use it, you would have to add a plural verb. That is an auxiliary verb. Okay. All right. So let's look at the examples. I have a house in the city. As a birthday present, my father gave me a car. So this person now has two things. So let's look at how it has been used here. Both properties are mine. Both properties are mine. So we see the use of the verb are. Okay. The second example, I have got two brothers. I have got two brothers. So what are the two brothers? Do you want to tell us? They are both rich. So just these two brothers, okay? They are both rich. Very good. I hope we are making headway. All right. Let's look at the next quantifier. Neither. Let's pay attention and look at this word carefully. Neither. Now, the word neither deals with just two things. It also deals with just two things. In other words, it is used when talking strictly about two things. Two, it depicts the meaning not or negative. So when neither is used, it is or it has a negative meaning. Okay. Example, Kojo and Philip were expected to be here. So these two people, okay, these two people, Kojo and Philip were expected to be here. But as it is now, neither of them has reported yet. But as it is now, neither of them has reported yet. So we see how it has been used, right? Very good. So because you have just two nouns here, we are using neither, meaning this sentence bears a negative meaning. What means that neither of them, the two of them, are still not in. Okay. Now let's look at something about that. about neither. It also carries a singular verb as it is in the above sentence. It carries a singular verb. The word there is a. It also carries a singular verb as it is in the above sentence. So we see the underlined word there, has. Okay, and the one that is in bold. Okay, all right. When a statement is positive, thus without not, the preferred answer is neither. Let's take that one again. When a statement is positive, okay, thus without not, the preferred answer is neither. Let's look at the example and then we'll understand. We want dash of the matches. We want dash of the matches. When you look at the statement, we don't have any negative word there. Don't forget we said that neither is used and it conveys a negative meaning. But we are saying that when a statement is positive, when a statement is without not, we go for neither. Because if you have not, you are not going to give the meaning. Okay. All right. We cannot say we didn't win neither of the matches. The didn't there is already negative. So where we have positive, we go for neither. So let's see. We won neither of the matches. What is the meaning of this? It means they lost. Okay, they lost. So we won neither of the matches. Take note of that. When the statement is positive, that's when it is without the not, there is the omission of the contracted form, either didn't, can't, we will go for neither. When those things are omitted, or when the word not is omitted in the statement, we assume that the statement is positive, and so in introducing a negative word we use neither. Okay, now either. When using either, we decide between two things. It goes with a singular verb. When you see either, we decide between two things, and it goes with a singular verb. Example, I am expecting Kojo and Philip to come for the party. If either of them come, my day will still be fun. So with the use of either, one is picked out of the two. Okay, here we are not losing everything, but there is an alternative. One could happen, one could not. Okay, so like you tell your friend, can I get an eraser or a pencil? Can I get a pen or a pencil? Okay, it means if your friend gives you a pen, you will take it. If you are offered a pencil, you will take it. You are not taking the two, but if you get one out of the two you have mentioned, you will still like it. Okay. Example, either Paul or Etonam is preaching today. Either Paul or Etonam is preaching. So between these two people, one of them could be preaching today. We are not too sure, but we know that these two are supposed to preach. If one comes, fine, that person is going to preach. All right. Note, when the statement contains a negative word, thus not, we use either. So when the statement contains a negative word, that's when we have not. Okay, we use either. Now let's look at the example. We didn't win dash of the matches. We didn't win dash of the matches. So our preferred answer here will be what? Either. Very good. So we didn't win either of the matches. Okay. Now let's look at none. None. To use none correctly, one needs to consider more than two things. To use none correctly, one needs to consider more than two things. This means that unlike both either and neither, which deal with just two things. The word none is used when we have more than two things. The word none is used when we have more than two things. So we are saying that this means that unlike both either and neither, which deal, the word is deal with just two things, the word none is used when we have more than two things. Okay. So look at the example. The teacher brought 3 report books to the class. So you realize that the items mentioned there, the number there is 3. Okay. So because we are not dealing with just two things, we want to introduce none. So the statement again. The teacher brought 3 report books to the class, but none is mine. I hope that is clear. But none is mine. We should also know that when we use none, it goes with a singular verb. When we use none, it goes with a singular verb. Now it's also known as an indefinite subject. Either, neither, every, each, all the kind we've talked about. Okay. All right. So you would have to know what exactly you are talking about, and then you introduce the verb. But when you use none, when you use the word none, it goes with a singular verb. When you use the word either, it goes with a singular verb. When you use neither, it goes with a single. But when you use both, it goes with a plural verb. So take note of that. Let's look at even though none is used when we are referring to more than 3 things, it is used with a singular verb. Example, none of my classmates was here. None of my classmates was here. So briefly today we have looked at 4 quantifiers. We've looked at both, neither, either, none. And we said that when we use both, we are referring to 2 things. Hence, the right verb to use is a plural verb. We gave some examples to explain further. Then we also looked at neither. We said that neither talks about 2 things, okay, and it conveys a negative meaning. We also gave examples under that, and we emphasize that when the statement is positive, that's when a statement does not have not, okay, we use it, neither to answer that. So the example we have, we won dash of the matches. So we said the preferred answer for that is neither. We also looked at either, where we said that either also is used when we want to decide between 2 things, okay? And it goes with a singular verb. We also said that when you have a statement where you have negative used, you go for either. So when the statement has negative meaning, we go for either. Then lastly, we look at none, the use of none. And we said that none can only be used correctly in sentences when we have more than 2 things. When we have more than 2 things. So 3 and more, we use none. But when you're talking about just 2 things, you cannot say that I have a notebook and a book. Okay, so you have mentioned 2 things. You cannot go further to say that none is for you. Maybe you're talking to your friend, you can't say that. But when you have more than 2, so when you have 3 or more things mentioned, we can use none. Note that when you have more than 2 things, we use none. And it also goes with a singular verb. It goes with a singular verb because it is an indefinite subject. Okay, let's look at the assignment quickly. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to use both of, neither of, or either of. Just these 3. And we will read the sentences and then use them correctly. So the example you have, I've got two brothers, they are both rich. So A, both of my brothers are rich. So you see, I've used both. I have two brothers, they are both rich, so both of them are rich. Then neither of my brother is poor. Okay, neither of my brothers is poor. We are not saying neither of my brothers are. We are saying what is. Take note of that. All right. So you have 1 to 5 to answer. Read carefully and answer the questions. Okay. All right. Thanks so much for your time. It was nice having you. Be safe. Bye bye.